So what they're doing is their only concern is about maintaining a group of people who get this right. A group of people who get this stuff right. They actually don't care about the people. They care about the group as a whole. They'll kick people out of the group. They don't care. They don't care. So what do you mean, Kevin? Well, I'll show you. I had this in a different order, but we'll do it this way. We'll put these things up here on this slide. The only concern is about maintaining a group of people that get all this stuff right. They don't care about the people. I've been in churches where every May to June they kick people out. They don't transform people. They get yes men who toe the line of ideological possession, and you can stay in the group as long as you do that. Okay? But there's no growth. There's no growth. Martin Lloyd-Jones said the great concern of New Testament epistles is not about the size of the church, it's about the purity of the church. Do you see that? Do you see the problem? Look down here. 9 marks of a what? Healthy church. What's a church comprised of? Individuals. What's happening with those individuals? You see? You can have a healthy church and you can have a pure church. Do you see this connection? Okay. Ideological purity tests. Do you see that connection? The purity of a church. These people are promoting all the bad stuff that comes along with having groups that are defined by ideological possession, by having in common the same ideological possession. Yeah, I don't think that having a debate on the side with Dr. Rightlife is really going to be helpful to him. Because people like Dr. Rightlife, and I'm looking at the comments here, people like this, they're so unable to follow the point that you're saying anyway, that it's like endless rabbit trails. Endless rabbit trails. You're going to have, they're constantly looking for something else to do with what was said to them anyway, and it's bad enough when only one thing is being said to them. So he says this excludes and eliminates the finality of the written revealed word. Do you know, okay, we have the finality of the written revealed word, and we got 200,000 different Christian denominations that disagree on what it means. So what are you talking about? We got 200. So you can say that all you want. You can say you have the finality of the written word all you want, but all you have is your own perspective of it. You don't have any finality. Unless you're omniscient and infallible, you don't have any finality. You need to get that. So we could agree that it's here, but we cannot agree that it's in your head or in mine. And that's why we need each other as a group. We need each other as a group. So what should be going on? What should be going on? Now, over here on the right-hand side, if we're following this model of what the evangelicals and the fools are trying to do, okay? Here's what I would say should be going. Now, I'm going to change this in a minute because I would not agree with this. Different points of view are just different points of view. Thanks for the super chat, Seraphim. Dr. Rightlife says there's no reality except what I perceive. As far as you're concerned, yes. Because you can only perceive what you can perceive. There is reality beyond what you can perceive, but you can't perceive it because by definition, you can't perceive it. So you have to realize the limits of your perception. Imagine you are wearing a VR goggle headset. which only shows you certain things, and it's very, very limited. That is your body and your brain. That's my body and my brain. It's not unique to you. You're not the only one that's that limited. We're all limited in the same way. Okay? So we're all trying to see the same reality from different points of view, but all you can ever see is your own perspective of it. You can't see the whole thing. Thus, the big elephant. So what we should be doing is what? What we do instead. And when I say we, I'm talking about people who are interested in moving beyond stage 3, people who are interested in following the way of Christ and are interested in moving beyond the idolatry of things like Calvinism, provisionism, free grace theology, Adam Harwood's or Wayne Grudem's systematic theology, doesn't matter whose it is, moving beyond that kind of idolatry. What we do instead is we take what a typical left hemisphere stage 3 proposition-centric fundamentalist would see as the desired end state, their little happy little list of beliefs that they hold in having mode. And those who follow Christ as the way, we take these things to be starting points, not ending points. Okay? You see, the fundamentalist ends there. The fundamentalist ends there. That's all they've got to offer. We take these things as starting points, not ending points. So we aren't in denial of the truths of Scripture. We simply see them as starting points. Whereas the fundamentalist evangelical with a statement of faith, they see their extractions and reductions of what's found in Scripture as the end point. See, that's the end point of Christianity. Now, the end of the commandment is this: charity. Charity and faith unfeigned. Well, what do you find in this kind of place? Feigned faith. Everyone who's in a church that has a statement of faith, they all have feigned faith. They're all practicing idolatry and talking about how much they love Jesus, and none of them do. They love their idea of Jesus. They've never met Jesus. So we take these things to be starting points, not ending points. And that's the big thing that I want you to take away from this. We also do not see these things as litmus tests of correctness. These are not things to be maintained for orthodoxy assessment or any such nonsense. These are simply components or ingredients that we wrestle with in our quest to grow and transform. Okay? And also there's a big major difference. We do not take propositional conclusions and try to disambiguate them into some theory of everything. That's a futile exercise. It's not something a Christian should be involved with. The Bible is not here to teach us things like that. Okay? The Bible is here to provoke us to see more clearly. The Bible is here to provoke us to wake up. The Bible is here to provoke us to grow, to provoke us to transform, to provoke us to have wisdom cultivated inside of us. So we're not trying to disambiguate, we're not trying to extract something from the Bible and disambiguate it into some theory of everything and say, we've got the ontology of metaphysical reality and God all figured out. I don't have the ontology of, I don't have my wife figured out, okay? And we get along great. And I would not presume to insult her by reducing her to a list of statements about her. You know how insane that would be? I talk to my wife every day. And I always know that there's more unknown about her than I have known. And I'm never going to get to the point where I know more about her than there is to discover. There will always be more to discover than I have already discovered. It'll always be that way. If we live to be 152 and have our wits about us, it'll still always be that way. Now, how presumptive of us to think that somehow we can put God in a little, set of writings. We can capture God, Ghostbusters when they capture the ghosts in the little box there in the little trap, we can capture God in our little trap of propositional statements. That's God. You got to believe these things about God. I wouldn't ask any fool on the volleyball court that my wife's playing on right now to believe anything about her. I would just ask them to experience her, talk to her, get to know her, have a drink with her, have a meal with her, play a game with her, participate if you want to get to know her. Don't come to me and ask me for a list of things to believe about her. You're going to have to talk to her for yourself, and you'll see for yourself. It's participation. And that's how you get perspective. That's how you get procedure. And then maybe you can say a few propositions. But those propositions are so data compression. They never live up to it.